So now I want to show about the answer key of ASVAB Trial Exam number 10. Question number 6. Find the reciprocal of 3 and 1 over 5 plus 3 over 10. So this is about the sum of two fractions. To do this, the question like this, you need to convert the mixed fraction into the improper fraction. So I will show the step by step how to do this. We have 3 and 1 over 5. So we will keep the number 5 denominator. So we have number 3 and number 5. 3 and 5 multiplied together. And we have number 1 we put at the end. So the formula to convert the mixed fraction to improper fraction, we have the formula like this. So the formula to convert the mixed fraction to improper fraction, we keep C in the denominator, A multiplied with C in here, plus B in here. So that's about numerator. So this is the basic formula to convert the mixed fraction to improper fraction. So we will calculate this one. 3 multiplied with 5 is about 15. We have number 1 divided by 5. 15 plus 1 is about 16 divided by 5. So that we have 3 and 1 over 5 becomes 16 over 5. So because they don't have same common denominator, so we have 16 over 5 in here. You multiply with 2, you got the same with the 10. Sixteen multiplied with 2 is about 32. 5 multiplied with 2 is about 10. Plus 3 over 10. And you got about 32 plus 3 is about 35 over 10. So now, after we got 35 over 10, you can see that 35 can divide by 5, 10 can divide by 5, so that we need to simplify the fraction. So we divide numerator and denominator with number 5, and you got about 7 over 2. After you got about 7 over 2, the question they ask about the reciprocal of the whole fraction in here. So we have 7 over 2. You just swap the numerator and denominator together. So number 2 they will become numerator, 7 they become denominator. So the answer for the question is about 2 over 7, and the answer is about D. So question number 7. Find the value of a power 9 divided to a power 3. So in here, you can see that we have about exponent a power b divided to a power c. And now in here, I will show the formula for you. A is about the base, and b and c, that's about the power. So we have the formula a power b divided to a power c. So in the power we have b minus c. So this is the basic formula about the power. and exponent. So we have a power 9 divided by a power 3. So we got about a, and power is about 9 minus 3. So the answer for the question is about a power 6. This question will be on the real ASVAB because they will show about the power and they ask you to simplify the fraction. So we need to learn about the power and exponent. So the answer for the question is about a. Question 8. The oven consumes 1400 kilowatts per day. One family used the oven from Monday to Saturday. How many kilowatt consumption in that week? So in here we can see that we have 1400 kilowatts in one day, and we know that they use from Monday to Saturday. Monday to Saturday. So when we count how many days from Monday to Saturday, that's about 6 days. Because they don't include in the Sunday, so that we have 6 days only. So we have 1400 multiplied with number 6, and we just do about multiplication, and you go about 0, 0, 6 multiplied 4 is 24, and we have plus 2 in here. 6 plus 1, 6 multiplied with 1 plus 2 is about 8. So we got about 8400. So the answer is about 8. Question number 9. The sum of two numbers is 1000. If we use the largest number to deduct the smallest number, it will be 420. What is the smallest number? So in here, the question they ask to create the system in here. So we will say let S is the largest number and Y is the smallest number. So on the ASVAB, so if you have the wrapped paper, you just say S and Y first, and if you have the information in here, you just follow them. So first the sum two number, and this is about 1000. This means S plus Y is about the sum, and we go about 1000. The next one, the largest number deduct smallest number, we got about 420. This means the largest in here minus the smallest number, and you got about 420. So now you got about the system on the ASVAB test, because sometimes the ASVAB they will ask to create the system like this, and you need to understand how to create the system in the arithmetic reasoning. So first we will sum up equation number 1 and equation number 2 together, because we want to eliminate one variable. Therefore you can find the solution in one variable. Later that you input one equation and find the last variable in here. For example, we have equation number 1 plus equation number 2. We have S and S in here. We have Y and minus Y. We have 1420. So now we sum together unit and units side by side. S plus S is about 2S. Y minus Y is about 0. So that you got 0Y in here. 1000 plus 420 is about 1420. So that you have 2S equal to 1420. We have 1420 divided by 2. Because we divide both sides left and right, that's why we eliminate number 2 coefficient next to the variable. That's why we got about 1420 divided by 2. And you got about 710. After you got about 710, you put the S in here on this in here too, because they provide the same value. So I choose number 1. We have 710 plus Y equal to 1000. Because we put the S equal to 710 in this equation, that's why we transform to 710 in here. Now we just find the Y. Why? Because they ask what is the smallest. So that's why we need to answer 1000 minus 710. You got about 290. So after we find the Y in here, Y is the smallest number, and the answer for the question 9 is about 8. So the question number 10, what is the length of the hypotenuse of the right triangle if two sides are 8 and 6? So we have the right triangle in here, and the value is 6 and 8. When we learn about the special right triangle, you will learn about the triple number 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, and so on. So in here you got about 6 and 8. So the answer for the hypotenuse is about 10. So this is about C. If you learn about the triple of special triangle, so you will have the triple number like this, and you just remember the number and you just apply the answer very fast. Question 11. The price of the washing each type of transportation is $1 per car and $2 per truck. Today he collects $550 in total, and he washed 200 cars. How many trucks does he wash? So we know that $1 for a car and $2 for the truck. So he just washed about 200 cars in here. Now, if we know about 200 cars, so we can find how many dollars he collects from the car. So that we just 1 multiplied with 200 is about 200. But he collects about $550 in here. So we got about 550 minus 200. You got about $350 for the truck in here, because 550 is about the money collected from the car and the truck, but we need to minus about total money collected from the cars, so that we can find how many money collected from the truck. To find how many truck of the washing, so you got about 350 divided by 2. You got about 175 truck. So the answer for the question is about 8. Question 12. The velocity of the car is 120 miles per hour. What is the velocity of the car in miles per minute? And we know that. Let's see about the rate in here. And we need to find the miles per minute. First, we know 1 hour is about 60 minutes. So in here, we can say that 120 miles per hour is we can write in the ratio like this, 120 miles in 1 hour. Now, the question they ask about the minute. And we need to find in here. But in 1 hour, we can transform to the 60 minutes. So in the 1 hour, there will become 60 minutes in here. So you can see that just like about the ratio. 120 multiplied with 1. The question mark multiplied with 60. So that we have the equation. To find the question mark in here, you got about 120 multiply with number 1 in here, then we divide both sides with 60. So 120 multiplied with 1 is still 120, and 120 divided to 60, you got about 2. That's it, 2 miles. So that in the question mark, you put about number 2 in here. And then you can see that answer B is the correct answer. Let's see the basic transform to the rate to the ratio, and you got about the answer. Question 13. Worker A can finish the job in 3 hours. Worker B can finish the job in 2 hours. If 2 workers work together at the same job, what time can they finish at that job? So I will show the two technique number 1 and technique number 2. So to answer the question, we have S multiplied with Y plus S divided by. So we have S multiplied with Y over S plus Y. S is about the time of the worker A, Y is the time for the worker B. So that you just input in this formula. So you got 2 multiplied with 3, 2 plus 3. So you got about 6 over 5. And in 6 over 5, if we divide, you got about 1.2. In here, in the 1.2, you got about 1 hour and 0.2 hour. We just separate the number and the number behind the decimal. In about 0.2 hours, you multiply with 60, and you got about 12 minutes. Because 60 multiplied with 2 is about 120. However, we need to count what number behind the decimal, so that we put about the decimal here in the 120. That's why you got about 12 minutes. So that's about 1 hour, 12 minutes. So the answer is about B. Technique number 2. We have 1 over S plus 1 over Y. S and Y is about the time of the worker A, and Y is about time of the worker B. So that you just input inside the formula. So we have S is about 3, Y is about 2. So 1 over 3 plus 1 over 2, we just put about common denominator. That's about 6. 3 multiplied with 2 is about 2. And number 2 multiplied with 3 is about 3, because in this number we need to multiply with number 2. That's why you got number 2 on the numerator. In 1 over 2, you need to multiply with 3. You got about 3 in the numerator, and you got about 5 over 6. Later that, you need to do about reciprocal of 6 over 5. So in here, I just show about 2 techniques for you. Technique number 1 is similar because you just remember the formula and you input in here. Technique number 2, you need to put the time. Later that, you need to do about reciprocal. So that's why you got about 6 over 5 similar in this one. So I show about the 2 techniques, how to do the question per step. So the answer is about B.